Hello everyone and welcome to United Red Devil TV. And tonight, it's not even tonight yet, this afternoon we're going to be jumping into our transfer news and rumours show. We're going to jump in with a little snippet from Paul Scholes, some apparent concern over Matthias de Ligt, even though we haven't even signed him yet, and we're probably not going to because this transfer window is becoming rather extremely awful. United want to sign Matthias de Ligt this summer, and the Netherlands defender has already verbally agreed personal terms. However, while United and Bayern Munich remain apart on evaluation, legendary midfielder turned TV pundit Paul Scholes has his own concern over the Dutchman. He has not played for them. That has to be a big concern. What? He has played for them, just not as much as Eric Dier for some reason. Especially when Eric Dier is playing in front of him. I'm not joking though, that is a massive concern for me. When you're bringing players in for 40 to 50 million pounds, just because he played for him 3 or 4 years ago, Juventus got rid of him. He wasn't good enough for Juventus. He's obviously not been good enough at Bayern Munich, so he's coming to us as like a second-rate defender now. Starting to think Paul Scholes doesn't know what he's chatting about, mate. It's regurgitating news that I've already reported, but I'll chuck it in again. Lenny Yoro and Joshua Zirkzee are already on board for Ineos this summer, and I don't think there's going to be anyone else. They have been assigned shirt numbers 15 and 11, respectively, by United. But what options are available to the club's next signings? There's not going to be any more. First choice options such as number 3 and 4 are still up for grabs, and they might catch Matthias de Ligt's attention, but there are other numbers still unassigned. Number 13, 19, 26, 27, 30, 31 and 32. It seems to be regurgitating stuff that I've already said. Why does it feel like I've said all this before? Fulham back away from McTominay interest. Fulham have backed away from their pursuit of Manchester United midfielder Scott McTominay, according to a report by 90 Minutes. Scotland International is one of the players available for sale this summer, as the club looks to raise funds via player sales. Fulham have been unsuccessful with 2 different bids. It's now understood that the Premier League side are not prepared to match United's 25 to 30 million valuation. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's move to West Ham looks like it's off. According to a report by Team Talk, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's proposed move from Manchester United to West Ham United is off. It is reported that the right back's wage demands are a insurmountable hurdle in the Hammers' hopes of getting a deal over the line. They have been keen on signing the former Crystal Palace man for much of the summer over the last few days. However, links connecting Wan-Bissaka with Inter Milan have increased, and it has been mooted elsewhere that a swap deal involving Wan-Bissaka and Denzel Dumfries could come to fruition. Wan-Bissaka is said to be keen on joining Inter. United effectively have 4 senior midfielders: Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, Scott McTominay and Christian Eriksen. Eriksen is best known as a playmaker and McTominay is their final third player. Mason Mount highlighted he is more comfortable in the final third rather than the middle. Third during a productive pre-season. Midfield ought to have been the priority for United. A new number 6 to complement Mainoo, but as Eric Ten Hag noted last week, their positions are occupied. However, under profitability and sustainability rules, United cannot stockpile departments where the weekly wage bill is well around £750,000. United had the finances and leverage to bring in Joshua Zirkzee and Lenny Yoro as high earners. Anthony Martial and Rafael Varane came off the payroll on July 1st, hence why fees were agreed for Joshua Zirkzee and Lenny Yoro within the first 2 weeks of last month. According to reports by Team Talk, Burnley midfielder Sander Berge has said yes to joining the club. The Norwegian international has been heavily linked with a surprise switch to Old Trafford over the last few days, according to Slow Sports News. Earlier today, claimed that initial discussions between United and Burnley had taken place. It has now been reported that the player himself is keen on a move to Manchester and that a tempting bid is being prepared. Berge joined Burnley last summer from Sheffield United. Former United striker Andy Carroll is backing Mason Mount to have a big season at Old Trafford after an injury-hit first campaign at the club. Mount made just 20 appearances for the Red across all competitions last season, meaning that he will be determined to make up for lost time this time around. He impressed during the club's pre-season campaign and could start Saturday's Community Shield clash with Manchester City at Wembley. And for Cole, he has the capacity to make an impact this term. Cole told Betfred, the good thing about Mason is that he's looked after himself during the summer, got himself fit. He had a lot of injuries last season, which I heard stemmed from his back. And during pre-season, he looked like the kid that played at Derby and the kid that started for Chelsea. He's another player that will be looking to force the manager's hand and get in the team early doors. He's been very lively, really positive, and he's another player that could have a big season at Manchester United. Last season was a bit of a write-off for him, but it's a clean slate and he can go again and get himself back into the team. Well, I don't know about that so much, Andy Cole. According to a report by Football Insider, United want to add another senior striker to their ranks before the transfer window closes later this month. United have already added to their attacking options this summer, sweeping for Bologna's forward Joshua Zirkzee, but with Rasmus Højlund now set to be out until September. At the earliest, there is a clamour for some fans for them to sign another, and it's now claimed that Erik Ten Hag is keen to add one as well. The club have been heavily linked with Ivan Toney in recent weeks, but finances will dictate whether a move for him is viable. If you asked Erik Ten Hag which two players he wouldn't want to lose for a prolonged period due to injury in a campaign, there's a high chance he would say Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw. Martinez was outstanding in his first season after signing from Ajax, setting the tone in the dressing room and on the pitch, and his passing ability makes him a unique option. Shaw is also one of the finest left-backs in Europe when he's fit, and at his best, although unfortunately he struggled to maintain a clean bill of health throughout last season. The new season is a clean slate, and Martinez and Shaw must stay fit. They are two of Ten Hag's favourite players, and their campaign should start at Wembley on Saturday when United take on Manchester City in the Community Shield at Wembley. Former United defender Miko Silvestre believes Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee and Amad Diallo will benefit from the appointment of Ruud van Nistelrooy at Old Trafford. The legendary Dutchman returned to United last month and was installed as one of Erik Ten Hag's two new assistant bosses. He returned to the club almost 20 years after leaving as a player. Speaking to the Manchester Evening News in an interview hosted by CryptoPoker.Limited, Silvestre said, "He has been there and he's done it. He was the top scorer in the Premier League and he can bring his overseas playing experience and his coaching experience as well, especially for the young strikers like Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee and Amad Diallo, who is a young talent. They can surely grab his wisdom in every aspect, especially the movement, the finishing, the attitude, the runs, intelligence, and he has a lot to offer for the rest of the team. I'm sure he will be able to pass on that experience." According to reports by Forbes, United remain interested in signing Brentford striker Ivan Toney. United have linked have been linked with the possibility of swooping for the England striker fairly consistently in recent weeks. He has entered the final year of his contract in West London, and it is unlikely he will pen a new deal. United, despite already strengthening their attacking options with the signing of Joshua Zirkzee this summer, are still refusing to rule out the addition of another striker. Finances, however, will dictate whether that particular mission is possible or not. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one because we already know about Euro's expected return from in fitness. United have not been what you would describe as prolific scorers in either of their opening two seasons under Eric Ten Hag, scoring 58 and 57 league goals in the past two seasons. That is an area that must improve if they are to challenge the division's elite. United's tally of 57 league goals meant they were they they were the joint lowest scorers in the top half of the league table, alongside Crystal Palace. By contrast, City and Liverpool, who Sir Jim Ratcliffe earlier this year said he wanted to knock off their perch within 3 years, scored 96 and 86 goals respectively. United have a lot of work on in an attacking sense, particularly at home, whether as they demonstrated in 2022-23. Any side targeting a top four finish needs to be able to rely on solid home record. According to Slow Sports News, young striker Chido Obi Martin is on the cusp of seeing his move to United after finalising terms with the club. He is understood to have undergone his medical earlier this week and now looks set to join the club after leaving Arsenal earlier this summer. The report states that a compensation package between United and Arsenal is under discussion and is currently being finalised. Defender Will Fish faces up to 5 weeks on the sidelines because of torn ligaments. The centre-back was forced off in the second half of last weekend's 3-0 defeat to Liverpool in South Carolina after earlier stepping off the bench at half-time. As a result, Fish, he has spent the last 2 seasons on loan at Hibernian, is now unlikely to leave the club before the transfer deadline on August 30. He had been attracting interest from Championship clubs. Yeah, we've already gone over that thing about Paul Scholes. Some United supporters have been left confused by the fact Sofyan Amrabat is still listed on the club's first team squad list on the club website. He spent last season on loan at Old Trafford from the Italian side Fiorentina, making 30 appearances, but that agreement expired 39 days ago. It has now been questioned why there is an image of him on the club's website wearing this season's brand new home kit. Just in case they bring him back, I guess, is probably why. According to a report by Italian newspaper Corriere dello Sport, as cited by Football Italia, Fiorentina have made contact with former United goalkeeper David De Gea to sound out a possible move. De Gea has been without a club since leaving Old Trafford last year, and he was reportedly close to joining fellow Italian club Genoa last month. However, he remains a free agent and is now reported that Fiorentina have been in close contact with his camp to find out if he would be interested in making the switch to the Serie A outfit. Nottingham Forest midfielder Danilo is hugely appreciated by Manchester United scouting staff as they ramp up plans to sign a midfielder ahead of the transfer window closing. That is according to a report by HITC, who also accredited United with Atalanta ace Ederson. After wrapping up signings of Joshua Zirkzee and Lenny Yoro earlier this summer, the addition of a holding midfielder is now leading objective for the Reds. They are currently being linked with a wealth of names. Yeah, but if we don't sell anyone, we can't bring anyone in, so you can link us with whoever you like. We can't bring them in until we get someone out, and they won't go. So, according to a report by Football Insider, Jadon Sancho is increasingly likely to leave United before the end of the summer transfer window. The winger was recently reintegrated into the first team squad at Old Trafford, almost a year after he last played for the club. He was frozen out in early September after publicly accusing the manager of Ten Hag of lying. Sancho has been heavily linked with the move to PSG in recent weeks, and it is now reported that a deal is increasingly likely to happen this month. The report also states that United want to sell him before the window shuts. But yeah, I'm finding conflicting reports out there from fairly respectable sources that PSG are not actually interested in him, and this is just a load of codswallop, as they say. Manchester United have held initial discussions with Burnley over the possibility of signing Sander Berge. According to Slow Sports News, United are exploring the conditions of a deal. The Norway international emerged as a shock candidate to sign for United after interest in Manuel Ugarte reportedly cooled, because PSG were asking for what they paid for him a year ago, and they want rid of him, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Inter Milan fullback Denzel Dumfries is focused on securing a move elsewhere and does not intend to negotiate a new contract until the summer transfer window is shut. Dumfries, who has been linked with a move to United this summer, is determined to leave Inter and is tempted with the possibility of joining Erik Ten Hag's Reds, according to The Athletic. A move for Dumfries to United, however, would only be possible if Aaron Wan-Bissaka does reject a switch to West Ham, which he pretty much has. Right now, the Hammers have an agreement in place with United, though personal terms have not been finalised. It's claimed Wan-Bissaka... See, there's 3 different reports all coming out about Wan-Bissaka. Well, technically 4 if you include this one. One, he's refusing to budge at all, and is basically saying, if you want me to leave, because of that weird thing he has apparently in his contract that whatever his final fee is that West Ham pay, he gets half of it. Otherwise, he's not going. West Ham apparently pulled out because there's not an agreement. They can't get an agreement done. The third one is apparently that he prefers Inter Milan, and like the fourth one, I think was there was no agreement in a fee because West Ham lowballed at 10 million and Manchester United wanted 18. This whole thing's a mess. Where was I? It's claimed Wan-Bissaka is appealed by the prospect of joining Inter, and that would open up the chance for a swap deal involving Dumfries. We'll have to wait and see. According to a report by The Sun, so do take this with a pinch of salt, I wouldn't trust anything that comes out in The Sun. Burnley will apparently demand £30 million for Sander Berge, and he's not even worth that. He's not worth anywhere near that. Amid claims of his interest to United, the Norwegian, who joined Burnley from Sheffield United in last summer's transfer window, is one of the Claret's star attractions. However, the report claims that they would be willing to sell him after relegation from the Premier League last term. United have held initial talks with AS Monaco about the possibility of signing midfielder Youssouf Fofana, according to Slow Sports News. United remain determined to strengthen their midfield options ahead of the transfer window slamming shut in just over 3 weeks. And Fofana is a player that has cropped up more frequently in gossip columns in the last couple of weeks or so. It is now reported that United have held discussions with Monaco about the prospect of signing the French international. According to a report by Football Insider, Bayern Munich defender Matthijs de Ligt has informed friends he wants to seal a move to United as soon as possible. Personal terms are not thought to be an issue for the Netherlands international, and it's thought an agreement between the two clubs is the only thing standing in the way. Well, the only thing standing in the way, my friend, is Bayern insisting that we pay over the odds for you, bruv. That's literally the reason, and United won't budge on upping the offer. So we're kind of stuck in a circle that's just going round and round and round and round and round, really, isn't it? United made their proposal to Yusuf Fofana weeks ago, according to Florian Plettenberg. It is said that more recently there have been contact with the player's agents to ask to get talks going again, but that he has been shown what Manchester United can offer already. Fofana is expected to leave Monaco this summer, but there's a battle to get him, with Milan seemingly heading the race at the moment. Atalanta and Brazilian midfielder Edison has been identified as a potential transfer target this summer. According to Give Me Sport, United have joined Liverpool in the race for his signature. Atalanta are desperate to keep hold of the 25-year-old. Tian Coop Miners is another Atlanta midfielder wanted by some of Europe's top clubs. And I do believe that Atlanta's got a bit of injury concerns, but I think that is everything that I can update with for now. If I have missed anything, please don't hesitate to drop me a comment down below so I can go and check it out and have a look. And if it is something of interest, I can add it into this evening's show. I just want to thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share the video around, drop us a comment down below to let us know how you think about how the shows are going. And if you're new, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, tap the bell icon so you don't miss a video. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys.